Hello, listeners. Thank you for joining me on 21st Century Native Leaders. My name is Peter Desert III, and I am here with Erickson Billy. Erickson owns and operates Blue Naadaa Sweets. Thank you for joining me, Erickson.
Oh yeah, definitely. Good morning, Peter. How are you today?
I'm doing good. So, for all
That's
those that are
good.
listening or watching, if you hear some roosters, those are my roosters in the background, so you'll have to bear with us. But
Everyone's getting their morning wake up call now. So
absolutely. Absolutely. So, Erickson, talk with me about your tribal affiliation, your clans, where you come from.
well, my name is Erickson Billy. I currently reside in Chandler, but I'm originally from Sawmill, Arizona, which is just west of Winter Rock, probably about 15 miles. Ado dina inishlingi twitch eating ki ani bashishin tina jini gashi do shi dashinale. And in English, I'm of the Bitterwater clan and born for the Tiring House people. My parents both reside still currently in Winter Rock, and I live out here in Chandler. I grew up in Winter Rock and graduated from Winter Rock. Yeah, that's pretty much who I am, as or how I identify myself as a Navajo individual. I am from the Navajo tribe. Um,
Wow, that's awesome. My wife's grandma is from Sawmill as well, but she lives in Navajo, so that's
oh,
pretty
okay.
cool. So I know the area.
Yeah.
I actually used to live in Winter Rock when I was, yes, first grade all the way till I think fourth grade, and then ended up moving to Farmington. So, talk with me about how you started Blue Naadaa Sweets.
So it's actually it's a very funny situation because it was a spur of the moment kind of thing, and it wasn't something that I thought was going to take off as big as it did. It was just something that I was looking to do on the side, something that I thought was going to be very small, but within the first within the first day of creating the Facebook page, it spread really quick. People started sharing. People started reaching out to me with. I think it's. I actually created the Facebook page a month ago today. So it was September 9th. I created that Facebook page. It took off within that first week. I think I had like nearly 500 likes, 500 follows. And because of that, and because I think a lot of people shared it word of mouth, a lot of people did reach out to me. They reached out to me through Instagram, Facebook. Some sent me emails, some gave me phone calls, and it got me booked that first weekend. Again, like I said, it was something that I thought was going to be really small. I wasn't planning on making it, or my intentions weren't as making it as big as it has become. So I'm very grateful for that. So it was a Wednesday night. I was at dinner with my family, and prior to that, well, one thing that I would like to emphasize is that I do like cooking. Since this whole pandemic started, the lockdown started, I think we took some good things away from that, definitely, because a lot of people started becoming more active with themselves as far as hobbies, activities, things that they did from home. And that's just one thing that I took away from this, was that I had the opportunity to spend more time at home, to spend more time in the kitchen. And because of that, I was messing around with ingredients, trying to get things right. And prior to this project, I was actually working on a small cookbook for my family, and that was going to be for the holidays. But that's actually been placed on hold because of this, because it pretty much takes up my entire time. So that recipe was supposed to go into that cookbook, so I was working on it, and then a few people got wind of it and tasted it, and they liked it. So because of that, I went ahead and I started taking pictures of it, posted on Facebook, got that whole situation started September 9th. It was, like I said, it was on a Wednesday night, created the Facebook page, created the Instagram page, and it just spread really fast. So that's one thing that I was really surprised. So again, this wasn't supposed to happen, but it happened. And the funny thing too is that I had been speaking with a lot of people that I've been crossing paths with, a lot of influencers, people that I look up to, and they've been telling me that I need to get something started, that I need to look into starting a business for myself, only because I don't spend a lot of time in the kitchen. I wasn't spending a lot of time in the kitchen just until recently, within this year. And prior to that, I did enjoy cooking, but not as much as I was now. And I would do event planning, party planning. I could whip up large meals. So because of that, I had several people reach out to me saying, you need to start a catering company, or you need to start a party planning business. And so I figured this is a stepping stone that I should definitely embrace. So I took that upon myself and moving forward with it now. And it's been a month up to today. Definitely some good progress for myself. It pretty much is just a one man team right now, because like I said, it was just something that I was going to do for myself. But I've already taken the initiative to to plan for, or I took the initiative to register or apply for a trade name for my company. And it's funny when I say that, because people reach out to me and they'll be like, "Oh, how's your small business?" or "How's your business going?" And it's like, I don't think it's a business yet. I don't think I don't feel like I've earned that badge to say, "Oh, I'm a business owner." But people are like, "Oh yeah, you own a business," with how big it's become and how active I am. Not only that, I have my regular job Monday through Friday, and then it keeps me busy on the weekends. I'm exhausted. I'm definitely exhausted. So it's something that I definitely need to branch out and start bringing a few more people in to help me. Only because I find myself waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, sometimes on the weekdays, because I have large orders that I'm preparing for on the weekdays. I also started midweek sweets, which is on Wednesday mornings, and I sell those outside the Indian hospital. So I'm looking into other avenues as far as increasing the business aspect of it. So like I said, it's a one person team. It's a one person venture right now. I take care of advertising. I bake the stuff. I wash the dishes. I take out the trash. So it definitely keeps me busy. Right now I'm working 7 days a week. Sometimes I'm starting at 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm not finishing until 11 or 12, because I'm preparing, for the next day or something along those lines. But I also have my regular job, which I enjoy. So I went to school for healthcare administration, so I have a occupation in that field. So that keeps me busy as well. So that's where I'm at as far as Blue Naadaa Sweets.
Wow, that's awesome. And I tell you what, if you're making money, it is a business. And, it may start small, but if you're growing it, and, that's pretty powerful and amazing to hear this story. And I think that's why I wanted to interview you, is because, there are a lot of people that do similar enterprises like you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just to get it formalized, and like you're saying, applying for a brand and branding the name of the company. So talk with me about where you got the idea to start it. Why Blue Corn?
I had a lot of blue corn come into my house. Well, living in the valley, it's really hard here in Phoenix. It's really hard to get your hands on certain items as far as Native American foods, or items that we use to make Native American delicacies, I guess you can say. So every chance I get to go home, my parents, my grandparents always have something to give to me to bring back down. It could be corn. It could be nesjishi, uh, blue mush, or blue corn was one of them, and just things that I can't get here. I go home, I purchase them, and I bring them back, and I like to uh, make sure that it lasts me a while. So I actually had quite a few blue corn at that time, and like I said, it was trial and error with the recipe for the cupcake, and I had to try and get it sweet. I had to try and get it moist. Um, and so since that ingredient was very, I had a large amount of it, I figured this is something that I can work with. Let's see what I can generate. So that's where I came up with the idea that my main focus is going to be blue corn. I'm going to see what else can come from blue corn as far as sweets. So I'm actually looking into other items that I'm going to be featuring, as well as the cupcake and the cookie. Right now, both items have been very popular. It's probably it's even as far as the demand. People want cupcakes, people want cookies, some people want both. And on top of that, a lot of people want blue mush too. So I've been preparing blue mush for Wednesday mornings, and people have enjoyed that very much. I am very surprised myself because, like I said, this wasn't something that I was expecting to go as far as it has gone so far. And people, the way people received it, the way people took it has been amazing. I've heard nothing but good reviews. And I tell people when they pick up their orders, hey, let me know, let me know what you think. If there's something else, if there's something you think I need to work on, if there's something that I'm very open to constructive criticism, even in my professional work. I've always been that type of a person. I never take anything the wrong way. It only because I feel like it's something that's going to build my product or build myself as an individual. So I think I kind of got off the question there, Peter.
No, you're fine. Actually, my next question has actually be what type of pastries do you make? But you already answered that. So I do have another question: is do you process the blue corn yourself from seed or from kernel?
No, actually, I had started off with small bags, and it was very pricey because of the small bags. Um, I had to look for a place that I could purchase a large amount. So my mom had told me that maybe we should look into the store in Waterflow. What is it called? Waterflow, or the Valley store? The Valley store. And there I was able to purchase a 50-pound bag. The 50-pound bag runs about $80, and it lasts me about 3 weeks. If I'm busy on the weekend. So far, it's lasted me about 3 weeks, and I do need to replenish that supply right there. So that's another reason why I'll be traveling up to Flagstaff, is because someone is bringing me more from New Mexico. So as I'm going along, I'm documenting things as far as like how much ingredients am I using, how much, what my supply. What are my supplies, and how much am I going to be needing, so that I don't come to an area where I run out and I'm telling customers, oh, I'm sorry, I can't take your order because I'm out of this. Because people are reaching out to me every day. Like I said, through social media, through phone calls and emails, placing orders. And yeah, I'm very surprised, and I'm very grateful and humble. It's a very humbling experience for me right now, and it's definitely something that I'm glad that I took initiative to take it upon myself to move forward with this, rather than just putting it aside. Because over the past few years, I've had many opportunities to start something like this, but I've always been scared. I've always been intimidated. Prior to this too, I was actually having a talk with my supervisor here at my job, and she's one of the reasons why I've started this, because she said, Erickson, you need to just get right into it. You need to do it. You need to stop thinking about it, stop pondering it or ignoring the situations, and just start. So that's exactly what I did a month ago today. Was that, okay, I'm going to start. Let's start tonight. Let's create that page. Let's get word of mouth out there. And it took off as fast as it did. And again, I'm very humble to all the customers, to all the individuals who've reached out to me, who've encouraged me, who took the time to say, hey, you have a great idea. Thank you for this. Your pastries are good. Your cupcakes are good. Thank you very much to those people, because if it weren't for them, this wouldn't have gone nowhere. So for those dedicated customers and individuals who have reached out to me, I'm very appreciative of that.
That's so awesome. I tell you what, I've been waiting to try, and I think I saw you in Gallup, or I saw a post that you were going to Gallup to bring orders up there. And oh man, I wish I would have seen earlier. My wife and I would have drove to Gallup to pick up some of those cookies
Well,
or the
well,
cupcakes.
that's until October 23rd. So Peter, I'll get some out to you definitely. Some cupcakes and some cookies, just so that you and your wife can uh, take part in that as well. So as soon as I can get some out to you guys, I'll take care of that. But as far as traveling out to Albuquerque, that's going to be until the 23rd of October. But also a disclaimer that I put on that advertisement was it just all depends on the lockdown situation, because if the community or the reservation is still on lockdown, I don't want to have to jeopardize myself or anyone, like getting in a situation that they shouldn't be in.
That's true. I like the way you take that into account. So earlier you mentioned, and this is pretty typical whenever, in business research, about overcoming that fear. People are afraid that they'll fail, or their business might not work, or they won't make a profit. But what helped you overcome that fear to just start it?
I think it was just the motivation from my parents, from my siblings, and like I said, one person who really contributed to that too was my supervisor, because she said that. She's like, Erickson, she's like, you have a lot of good ideas. She's like, I don't know why you can't implement them. You better stop thinking about it and work on them. So it was just the people. In the recent weeks, uh, I've surrounded myself with a lot of positive people, and I feel like that's another reason why this venture was definitely a positive move, because a lot of people have contributed to me, with just words, and it was just that motivation. I do read a lot too, and a book that I am reading that a friend had brought to my attention over a year ago too was it's called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and that's by Stephen Covey. And one of the best quotes out of that book, and it's funny that you brought up the word failure, the successful person has the best habit of doing things failures don't like to do. And then this morning again, I saw on Facebook too, someone posted a comment. Someone posted a stat or a status related to that, saying that if you're not failing, then you're not doing something. So in order to accomplish something, you have to fail. No matter how many times you fail, eventually you'll get to that goal, to that area in your life, only because you built yourself in all those failures. So I took a lot of that into consideration, telling myself that it is okay to fail, because that's one of the main reasons why that hindered this adventure, was because I was scared to fail. And I had to tell myself over and over, no matter how many times you fail, you're going to keep trying, and eventually you'll get to that area where you want to be.
That's so
Um,
powerful. I like the way you explain that. And I think that's a
yeah.
lot of times people are afraid to go
Mhm.
past their comfort zone. And you're right. There are a lot of authors out there that write about business and entrepreneurship that talk about that. So really quickly, so you talked about your formal education, healthcare administration. Were there principles that you learned to help you start this venture?
Leadership. A lot of the leadership aspect from that education took into place. I hadn't gone to school for business management. I really don't know how a business is conducted, so I'm learning as I go along. But from that education, what I'm taking with me is the leadership skills, the customer service skills, and I've worked since I was 16, or probably since I was 14, when I was able to work in the summer youth programs. I've worked ever since then. I've built that communication as far as communicating with people, communicating with customers, and I always felt that was one of my strong aspects, was relating to people and making sure that their needs are met as far as a business. So I kind of implement all that into starting this. So as far as a professional aspect for business, I haven't gone to school for business management or anything related to business. So what I'm taking from my previous education or my current education is just leadership skills, customer service skills, and that's how I'm building up my business.
Yeah, I like that though, because I think you mentioned some really important components when in what you just said, and I think that's what it takes. I don't think you necessarily have to have any formal business experience, but just that customer service skills and coupling that with your love of cooking. That's really powerful. So talk with me about a challenge that you overcame to starting Blue Naadaa Sweets.
I think everything has been going very smoothly so far, knock on wood. Um, the only thing that one of the challenges that I've recently encountered was very small, but it was something that I was able to take care of was when I had got that perfect cookie, the perfect size, the perfect texture, the perfect moisture. Um, I nailed it. I knew I nailed it. I was confident. I was happy. I brought a batch to work the next day. I shared with my staff, and I even had my, like I said, one of my big, one of my big supporters is my supervisor. So I had her take, I had her take on it, and I considered what she had to say, and she said it's perfect. And I knew it was right. I said it was perfect, and so I said I'm going to be proactive because I have a sale coming up this Wednesday, and I'm going to get these cookies ready. So I wanted to mix the cookie dough so that it's ready for me just to put into the oven, and I did that. Prepared probably 20 batches. Not 20 batches, probably like 10 batches, which generates about 20 boxes of cookies. And put that all in the refrigerator. Thinking to myself, oh, I'm a step ahead of myself. I'm being proactive. Everything should be fine. The day comes for me to put those cookies into the oven, and they weren't baking the same way that they baked that night. So it was very stressful, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Like, I don't know. That was a very stressful time for me because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should call the customers and say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm not going to have cookies, or I'm not going to have your cookies because of this. But I had to definitely work around it, and get myself into a position where I can still deliver these products. It may not look like it was supposed to, but it'll definitely have the same good taste that it did. And it did. And it did. And instead of just putting 4 cookies in one, I had to include more cookies just so that it didn't look like it was like I was sending off a small batch of cookies with people. So that's just like something that's really that's been an obstacle. So far, everything has been going really smooth, and the reason why I say that is because I have support from so many different people. People reaching out to me saying you should try this, you should look into this. This may help you. Go to this website. So a lot of people's education that other people have obtained as far as for business, they've been sending my way, and that's been helping me a lot. So I think being proactive is something that you need to consider when starting a business, because you need to think a few steps ahead of yourself and prepare for something. If something doesn't go right, then you're able to go this other way to make sure that you're still delivering services to the people.
That's awesome. I was thinking about that whenever you said you had made 10 batches of the dough. But
Yeah.
so I know earlier you talked about going to Gallup or Albuquerque, but do you do online orders, and do you ship?
I don't. That's something that I'm looking into, and if it does come to shipping, I think the only item that I'll be able to ship are cookies. Um, I've had someone tell me, freeze your cupcakes, freeze it, send it out to me. By the time it gets to me, it should be thought out. But that's just probably something that's going to be a trial and error as well. But I'm still looking into that. I still have people reaching out to me from different states, quite a few states actually. Washington, Oregon, Oklahoma, California, Nebraska, just a variety of states and a variety of different people. And it's not only Navajos too. It's other Native Americans who have reached out to me, and they tell me that they want to try what I have to offer, and it's a disappointment for me because I wish I could deliver that to them, just so that they can experience what other people here are experiencing. And that's another reason why I'm making a trip up to Gallup and to Winter Rock, and I'm making a trip up to Flagstaff tomorrow. So I'm taking orders that way, and I'm taking orders this way in the month of October, just so that those people in those areas, or the customers in those areas, can experience what everybody here in the Valley is experiencing right now.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason I was asking that because I was thinking about that. That's a way that my wife and I could try the cookies or try some of the cupcakes. So I know you earlier you mentioned that you do your own advertising. So using social media. So is a majority of your orders through social media or just people down in the Valley area?
A lot of it is through social media. A lot of people are reaching out to me through Facebook, some Instagram, but I do have a few people who call me because my phone number and an email address is on the Facebook page. I do have a company that's working on Blue Naadaa Sweets.com, a website. So they're currently working on that, and I'm working along with them, providing the information, images, and things that they need so that they can generate that website. So that's definitely something that's still under construction. And on that page, I'm trying to have it to where people can place an order online. So right now, I'm just catering to people here in the Valley because it's simpler. People could just come right over to my place on the weekends and pick up their orders. And then on Wednesdays, like I said, they find me at the Indian Hospital in Phoenix, parked outside. So
That's awesome. So the big question, which is your most popular pastry? The cookies or the cupcakes?
I like both. Equally, honestly, because there's days when I'm in the mood for a cookie, and there's days when I'm in the mood for a cupcake. So I think it just really depends on what mood you're in. But it's nice to hear, the feedback from people, because there is people who prefer the cupcake over the cookie, or the cookie over the cupcake. Some people even like both, only because the texture is different. Definitely. And back to your question, as far as advertising, a lot of the advertising I did myself. That Wednesday night, September 9th, I was in my room and I created the logo. I created the business plan that night within like an hour. I said, okay, this is what's going to happen. Wrote it all down. This is what needs to take place. This is where I need to go. This is how it's going to happen. Created the business logo and sent out an order really quick for stickers to come in and coasters, just so that I had something to distribute once I started giving out orders, so that this was my tactic as far as bringing people back to me. So the first item that I did get were coasters. So I have this coaster here and I have the sticker here. The first weekend they had these on back order, so they didn't come in on time. But I did get them out. Every order got a coaster. And to this day, up until now, orders are still getting coasters, and this is the newer one. So you'll see this newer coaster coming along with purchases that are being made. And,
wow, that's pretty awesome. And you designed that yourself?
I designed the logo myself. I took all the photos myself, created the layout, and yeah. So, like I said, I had to be my own uh, advertised person, my own baker, my own janitor or custodian, whatever you call it, dishwasher and all that. So right now I have 2 stickers, and then I also have a magnet.
Wow, those are cool. Can people buy those?
Oh yeah, these are all $5 each, and people have been purchasing these have been purchasing these a lot. People are asking if they can purchase additional coasters, and they are, but they're also getting one complimentary with every order.
And those are $5 as well?
Yeah.
Well, that's
But
awesome.
some other things that I'm working on right now are coffee mugs for the holidays, and then I've created I'm working on home kits uh, with a cupcake mix and cookie mix that are already inside the jar. They're going to have a label, and they're going to be put together as geared toward the fall season and the holiday season. So I'll have those. Hopefully, I'll have those within the next 2 weeks, and then as well as my coffee mugs. I'm trying to look for coffee mugs that um, remind us where we come from, home. You know, the reason why I say that is because there were coffee mugs at Grandma and Grandpa's houses that when you see it to this day, you're like, oh yeah, I saw that at Grandma's house, or oh yeah, that particular design takes me back to when I was a kid. So a lot of the things that I come together with are things that I hope that, which is why let me mention that on the coffee coaster here is my, I guess you can kind of say is a slogan. It says when tradition continues to bring families together. Um, So I just want to emphasize that because a lot of people came back to me and be like, you know what, that taste of that cupcake or that smell of that cupcake remind me of when I was at Grandma's. And to hear that, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing because um, our generation had the opportunity to grow up at Grandma's and Grandpa's, and we know how the dirt smells. We know how the food tastes. We know how the ground was moist and the air was fresh. But a lot of the time now, or in this day and age, a lot of individuals don't have the opportunity to experience that. And this is just my way of bringing that opportunity back to say, hey, this is how it used to be. So take one bite of my cupcake, one bite of my cookie. Let's remember how it used to be at Grandma's or at Mom's or at Dad's when they cooked traditional food, when they cooked Navajo delicacies. So that's what I like to emphasize, and that's what I like to uh, make sure that my customers are taking back into their home. Um, a lot of people come to my house and they say, your house feels like a home. I live in an apartment, but I like to make sure that where I live reflects who I am. So a lot of the cooking that I have going on in my home, I want to have other people invite into their own home. So that's one thing that I like to emphasize.
Wow, that is so powerful. I love that connection you're making to our tradition, and it's definitely modern, but yet it has
Yeah.
that traditional flair and taste. It's pretty powerful. I like it. I'm like
Hmm.
sold. So, do you have any recommendations for anybody that wants to do something similar to you with fried bread or any other of our traditional dishes?
Just be proactive. Think outside the box. Um, like I said, I was very scared to take off with the cupcakes and the cookies because I felt like somebody was going to come at me and say, "Oh, you're not supposed to do that," or "Oh, you're not supposed to." But we live in an age where, and I don't want to say this out of disrespect, but things are being changed around just a little bit. But we also want to get back to the root of where we come from, the root of where we're at now, and remind ourselves that we are strong and resilient Native American people. We have a background, we have a foundation, um, we have identity, and one of that is food. And a lot of people love Navajo food, love Native American food. not just Navajos. There's a lot of people who I had one of my clients, one of my customers, who said, uh, she's white, she's Anglo, and she said, you know what? I took your cupcakes to my brother's house, and he said, finally, someone thought of something different, because fry bread was the only thing that I was eating, but this is something new. This is something. So we have to make sure that we spice up our culture with something new all the time. So that's how it is.
Wow, I'm really impressed with what you're doing and the innovation that you've put into place, into motion, and it's just pretty powerful. But is there anything else you would like to add, share, any words of advice or wisdom?
No, just I just really wanted to let people know that I am a humble person and I come from a good place. Everything that comes out of my kitchen comes from a good place. Um, One thing that my grandma used to say, or she's still around, she says, is that you don't eat food from a person who's cooking upset, or who's upset when they're cooking. Um, so when I'm in the kitchen, I want to make sure that I have that positive vibe, or that positive aspect, so that when these people are taking these food into their own home, they're taking something good home with them. And so that's just, and as far as those individuals who have ideas, who have, take it and run with it, because you don't know where you're going to end up, and you won't know until you try. And all the other Native American entrepreneurs out there, business owners, even if it's something small, you guys are doing a great job. I have a hydro flask, like 3 of them, and I have all different types of stickers from different Native American designers, Native American businesses. So, and I think I have mines on here too, right there.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
But so it's just something that I definitely encourage other people to try, um, as well as just taking the initiative to step into it and moving forward with it. But also, I just want to let people know that we do have some great things. I do have some great things coming along for the holidays, so keep an eye out for that. Large orders for the holidays. Definitely get that. I have more stickers coming. I'm working on a sticker pack, a 4-pack of stickers. So keep an eye out for that. The coffee mugs. And other people who have been reaching out to me requesting different items that include blue corn, working on those items as well. Like I said, I'm only a 1-person team right now, so I'm working with what I can and what I can give to the people. But
Man,
other
I'm
than
so
that,
impressed.
yeah. But other than that, Peter, thank you for this opportunity, coming to being able to share my platform and my business venture with you and everyone out there. I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. So how can people follow you? What platforms are you on, and how can people contact you?
Like I said, I'm still working on that website. They're still fixing that up for me. The most popular ways through Facebook, Instagram. You can find me at Blue Naadaa Sweets. Um, when you type that in, make sure you don't use special characters. Just Blue Naadaa Sweets. And then also my phone number, my email address is on there. And it's really nice to hear like elderly reach out to me, because they don't have social media, or they don't have um, an email account, but they got the phone number from their grandchild or their child, and they're giving me a call and saying, hey, I want to try this, or hey, can you give this to me? And it's really special. It's really special to me, because knowing that an elder wants the opportunity to try something that I prepared, it's a very special moment for me. So yeah, so
That is
any social media, phone numbers, my phone number is on there, my email is on there. Follow us right now. As of today, I have 773 likes and 820 followers. I'm trying to get to that 1,000 mark. Once I get 1,000 followers, I'm going to see what kind of special I can generate for that. just to celebrate that, because like I said, it took off really fast, and I appreciate that very much. Yeah.
That is so cool. I'm really impressed. Like I said earlier, I'm just excited for you. And you heard it, everyone listening or watching this, follow Erickson Billy at Naadaa or Blue Naadaa Sweets and NAADAA. That's corn in Navajo. So those of you that are non-Navajo. But other than that, I really appreciate what you're doing, and you're definitely a younger Native leader that's out there making a difference in our community. And one of the reasons why I started this podcast was to break negative stereotypes about Native people. So I'm really impressed and proud of the work you're doing. And if there's anything you want me to help with sharing stuff, just send me a message, and I'll get that out to my followers as well. So I appreciate you taking time.
Oh yeah, definitely appreciate all that. Appreciate the support. If there's anything, I'll definitely get that out to you. But I'll shoot some, or I'll get some cookies and cupcakes out to you and your wife so that you can enjoy it as well.
All right, I appreciate it. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
and then I'll get some of these sent out to you through the mail. So if you could send me your mailing address, I'll get that sent out.
Okay, I will. Absolutely.
Alrighty.
Thanks a lot.
Alrighty.
Talk to you later.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah. Bye bye.